Welcome to this week's episode of The Conscious Evolved Man. This short video is going to talk about the principle of forgiveness, what I believe is one of the most powerful tools of healing, in which I really feel we weren't fully educated or taught about the fullness of this key that I'm excited to share about today. Because when we really look at forgiveness, it's not just about releasing the hurt from others. It's about reclaiming our liberation, a gift you give yourself to set you free. And growing up and understanding forgiveness, I realized I just got the short cliff notes of it. I wasn't fully aware of how to apply it to meet the changes and challenges of when I go through it in becoming a conscious evolved man. And today I feel what's so important about forgiveness is to understand the gift of what it does to our health, our well-being, and most importantly, in releasing bitterness, anger, and resentment. Because have you ever noticed when you don't forgive someone, you're still actually attached to that event? When we don't forgive, we're actually holding on to the past and not allowing ourselves to move forward into the future. And that is why I find it such an important level, because I've always heard, I will forgive, but I won't forget. Or I will forgive, but I still remember that person and he still haunts me, or still she haunts me, or that situation has still become a challenge in my life. But what happens now if you take that moment to really go into your past, to go into areas of your life where you haven't forgiven that person, especially within our family, our mother, our father, our brother, our sister? You know, I could think of so many times growing up where there were conflicts and unresolved situations where I thought I forgave that person, but then something comes along as a trigger or reminder that brings that event back up. And once again, I feel all of that pain coming back to the surface. Because I really feel when you look at it, forgiveness is a process. It's not a one-time event. It's healing in layered formats, just as we move through rage, anger, grief. It is a process. Yet a lot of times we run so quickly in life to say, oh, I forgive you, and then I move forward. But did I really forgive that individual, that situation? And then seeing, well, why did I not forgive? What were the challenges that I became? Because maybe justice wasn't served. Or maybe I thought forgiveness was a weakness. If I forgive, then I lose and I let the other person win. Or maybe I looked at forgiveness as something that really brought pain to that moment, and I wanted to avoid that pain with all costs because we've been brought up it's not okay to feel not okay. So I've avoided that forgiveness just as I avoid that pain. So I understand many struggle with forgiveness because they look at it as a feeling rather than an act or decision. And have you ever noticed that moment where you're like, maybe I will wait when I feel ready to forgive. Maybe when the moment's right. Yet that feeling is holding us back because forgiveness is really a decision to take control of your heart and free yourself of the anger, the bitterness, or the resentment. Because what I feel is forgiveness is really about reclaiming your freedom and unlocking the chains of the past when we forgive. That's one area that I find is so important because so many of us don't know how to let go. We don't know how to release. So what happens if in this process where we're stuck, we're challenged in life, and we don't know how to move forward? Could you imagine if we just start forgiving the pains, the hurts, the areas that just felt uncomfortable by taking one step at a time? So how do we forgive? There's a simple 3-step process that I'd like to share for you today, because it really becomes an act and a decision you choose to do more for yourself than that individual, which may seem strange because at first we may only be thinking about the situation or the person that hurt us. But as you know, when we forgive, we release, we let go, and then we're no longer attached. So, what can we do to forgive? The first thing to do is to acknowledge the pain. Give yourself the permission to feel without denying your feelings, without denying what happened. Just give yourself the permission. What hurt me? Who hurt me? What am I still carrying? Because that starts opening up the ability to bring light and awareness. And as you see, with each week, we're applying these tools from becoming more aware, communicating within, and what I feel from last week, taking that responsibility to become more evolved in who we are so that we can naturally live in peace and comfort. So acknowledge the pain. Give yourself the permission to feel. Once you acknowledge the hurt, the next choice is to let go of the anger. Choosing to release the anger, the bitterness, the resentment. And there's many ways you can release that. Through breath work, through journaling, through going outside and being in nature, to connecting with the divine, through meditating, allowing yourself to release and to let go of that hurt. And then the third part is to understand that forgiveness is about extending grace. Allowing yourself to know it's not about the other person, it's about giving yourself the freedom to release and let go without needing an apology or justice. Just releasing the debt they owe to you and letting go of that right to hold them accountable. Because when you invite that grace into it, you're naturally allowing yourself to move into that peace, because you see it's about allowing your heart and allowing the peace within you to guide the way. So for today, I want to leave you with an exercise. Think of someone who has hurt you deeply. Picture them in your mind. And feel the emotions associated with that hurt. Now take a deep breath and say out loud, I acknowledge my hurt. And today I choose to forgive you. Breathe that in and breathe that out. Because today you can create a new story from your experience. You can allow yourself to let go and let God. And you can remember, when you look at forgiveness, you're forgiving that and allowing yourself to be free of the pain. Knowing, as one of my greatest teachers, Martin Luther King, has expressed, forgiveness is not an occasional act. It's a constant attitude. And really, what happens when you tell yourself that true forgiveness is when you say thank you to the experience. in reclaiming your light from the shadow of the past, so that you can walk in the peace of all that's before you. For those that want to dive deeper into this powerful principle of forgiveness, into this tool that I feel we could use every single day upon our meditations, upon our journaling exercises, then please join me on this 12-week journey of being the conscious evolved man, because you will see the tools, the exercises, meeting the challenges, and seeing how you can put that together and creating more peace, more joy, more happiness, and allowing yourself to practice this divine art of forgiveness. So thank you for coming along on this journey, and wishing you all a most beautiful, blessed day.